Eli Whitney was one of the most impactful inventors in United States history. His inventions helped both rural and urban settings alike as they started the Industrial Revolution along with the massive cotton economy that the United States would be based around for the next 60 years. It's safe to say that this is a pretty outstanding impact on United States history as it stands, but that is just the beginning. As these two separate economies manifest further, bitter tensions arise between the two walks of life. Ultimately, the Civil War arises because of the differences in economies in the North and the South. Eli Whitney, as the primary cause in economic differences, is therefore a key part in starting the Civil War. Eli Whitney was born in 1765 and grew up on a farm in Westborough, Massachusetts. After attending Yale, he got a job working on a tobacco plantation in South Carolina. But tobacco was on the decline, thus causing many plantation owners to turn to a new cash crop: cotton. There was an abundance of cotton in South Carolina and the other southern states, but there was one problem. Cotton has hundreds of seeds that need to be picked out before the fabric can be made from it. It took slaves hours of manual labor to remove all the seeds from the cotton. Eli Whitney, realizing that this process could be drastically improved, set out to speed it up. The cotton gin was his solution to the problem. The cotton gin removed the seeds from the cotton by the simple turning of a wheel. Prior to this development, slavery was on the decline because tobacco was declining, and cotton was too expensive to harvest for most farmers. But because of Eli Whitney's cotton gin, making cotton easier to harvest than ever, the slave population in the states more than doubled from 1790 to 1810. Plantations grew because as they made more money, they bought more slaves to harvest and spin more cotton. Cotton would become the primary cash crop of the South and the primary source of income for the whole country for the next 60 years, thanks to Whitney's invention. But Whitney had a hard time receiving profits for his cotton gin because it was so simple, other companies made their own cotton gins. It was because of this that Eli Whitney went into the arms business. In 1798, he won a congressional contract to manufacture 10,000 muskets for the U.S. Army. At the time, all products were self-contained and had to be manufactured by hand, and once again, Eli looked for and found the solution to his modern-day problem. Eli Whitney came up with the idea of interchangeable parts. He would make 10,000 of each part and put them together as needed, thus greatly decreasing the time it took to assemble the guns. But this invention spread past the arms business and took hold in all the manufacturing businesses. This also introduced the idea of assembly and changed manufacturing forever because it enabled items to be mass-produced, thus increasing the production of factories and inviting the Industrial Revolution. Late in life, Whitney wed Henrietta Edwards, and together they had several children. 8 short years later, Eli Whitney died on January 8, 1825. And today, Eli Whitney is often considered the father of American technology, both for the invention of the cotton gin and the concept of interchangeable parts. But it is an event that happened 61 years after his death that can be seen as his greatest impact. With interchangeable parts, the Industrial Revolution was brought upon the northern part of the country, as that was the area that consisted of large factories. The South's slave and cotton economy grew rapidly as well, thanks to Whitney and his cotton gin. These growths in separate economies, and especially the slave population, brought about increased tensions and eventually secession of southern states that had to ultimately be ended by civil war. Eli Whitney, therefore, should be seen as very impactful on United States history, for both playing a key role in starting the Civil War, along with revolutionizing modern industry and solving problems that he saw at his time.